I have to ask this just out of making sure we're actually on the air. Cody, is the board hot?
The board's hot. Though.
Oh,
There
Queen
he
is
is.
back.
Let's
Cody
go.
Queen is.
I leave
I mean, he's like, I can leave until Friday. Maybe.
In a couple
I don't
days.
know.
I'm just a guest for today. I'm
Can-
rolling through
can-
town. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Why are you being so like? Why are you being so sincere and like?
I don't want people being like, "Oh, he's back working here."
Oh, you don't want to give anybody
No.
like false hope.
Yeah,
No, I'm not. I'm
You don't wanna give-
retired. I'm living in Florida.
You don't give anybody false hope. Well, it's not like we called you.
I just like randomly
Yeah,
showed up.
Cody
You're
was just like-
uh,
But I can tell you how this exchange went. Cody said, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be in town," and I was like, "Okay, cool." But then I kind of thought, I was like, "Wait, are you staying with me?" And he's like, "Yep." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Guess this is happening." But no, Cody's back, and then of course, if he's back, not only did he steal my apartment, not only did he steal my parking space at work this morning, now he's just
It's true. Yeah.
just ripping his way back into the show.
MySpace.
He said, by the way,
Going back to 2007. It's
There it is.
MySpace.
there you
Yeah.
go. I'm taking the board hopping up.
Yep.
I'm doing everything.
Well, we're not going to complain about it. Here's what we are going to do is
no,
this.
of course.
If you are going to be on the show today, though, we just got to kind of refresh you, just give people your bona fides. And so what I'm going to
Go Avalanche. Yeah.
no. So what I'm going to do is we're obviously a Georgia sports talk show
Yeah.
primarily. We'll talk some national stuff, but we focus very locally. So just to give people some pertinence, let them know you know what you're talking about. Just got a few questions for you
Oh,
here. All right. So just Cody, real quick, if you can name one Falcons wide receiver.
One Falcons wide receiver. He's not too much of a wide receiver, but Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
might
if
as
you
well
can
just
name
use
one
him that.
Falcons wide receiver.
Wide receiver. They just got a Russell Gage just left. Let's go. Cordell Patterson.
No, he's with
not
the Raiders
there
now,
no
and he played running back
more?
mostly.
Equinemius 2 feet. Is that?
Yeah, no, I think you were going. All right, so nailing it right there.
Roddy White.
To be fair, I don't think I can name one. So,
Great. Don't just
Gonna
don't
be
just
real.
say that.
well, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest.
Who is it, Kevin?
There's only one left, Kevin.
Nailed it. Kevin
There you go.
Thomas.
Oh, Equinemius
That's
left
right.
feet. I always gonna
Yeah,
mix
you
up.
do.
Yeah.
You do.
No, that's
you
true.
do. That's fine. That's fine. Outside of Stetson Bennett, can you name one player on the Georgia football roster?
Nolan Smith. He's coming back
There,
to get his
that look-
degree
okay.
There you
from
go.
Savannah.
Here we go.
Come on.
Here we go. Outside of Ronald Acuna, I need a Braves player.
I said Ronald Acuna. Just got a dude from the A's. Forgot he's actually from Atlanta. Forgot his name.
Yep.
But is Ozzie Albies still going to be on the team?
Yeah, he is.
Okay,
there we go.
okay,
Cody,
yep,
just
there
a
you go.
Georgia
Nailing it.
sports, just a
Yeah.
Georgia sports.
I am an Atlanta Braves
Expert.
fan now because I literally don't know. I cannot name one player on the Rockies. That's how much we had to talk about it on here. So whenever I told, they're like, "Oh, who you like in baseball?" I'm like, "I'm Braves. I don't know anything about any other team. Literally, no other team. It's the only team I know about. Is
Mighty big
Braves.
coincidence that the Braves just won the World Series, and all of a sudden Cody's a Braves fan.
It's okay. It's a lot
Oh
better than not
my.
having fans, right?
Hey, at the end of the day, at least he said he's a fan and not a supporter, right? I mean, can we draw a line somewhere?
It's true.
He says he's
Yeah,
a
what
fan,
college football team are you supporting this year?
not just
I'm
supporting it.
supporting this year. I
'Cause
am going.
Technically a Florida fan.
I'm gonna support the. I really want Kansas State to go up.
Oh, okay,
Wow,
Kansas
okay.
State supporter.
Gotta
Okay.
love them. Gotta love them. Kansas State Cougars, right?
No,
Kansas State. None of your business. Is what this?
nailed it. Can you, Cody? You're a big Florida football fan, though.
Ish, yeah.
What do you think of your new head coach?
He's all right. He is actually
What's his name again?
a Billy Napier.
Okay, cool.
But he's actually with his
Napier.
social media. Well, since I'm down there, I'm in Central Florida.
Yeah.
He is really taking his social media steps, just like old boy from UGA. So like anytime he gets someone that he gets good, instead of saying like "Go Dogs,"
Let's go
he
Gators.
says "Go Gators" or something like that.
Oh, what a
you know?
lame-o.
I mean, your boy's doing it right, so why not take
Try and emulate him a little
pointers,
bit.
You know,
Yeah.
like
What a nerd.
doing it right.
What a nerd.
Doing it right. It's okay when we beat you guys next year. Nah, not next year.
I don't think
Probably
it's-
not for the next 10 years. Sad.
I wouldn't say 10, but
Sad
next
news.
year's not going to
Ooh,
happen.
really? Do you think Gators will win one game against the Dogs in the next decade?
Over the next decade,
in
I'll
this
take
Probably.
one.
decade, do you
I'll
think they're
take
going to win
one.
this decade?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take one.
One. Okay.
I'll take one.
Let's talk about it. Hold on.
There's gonna be an upset
Let me
or
go,
two
let me
in
go to
there.
Winsipedia here.
Uh-huh.
You don't have rivalry series like that without, upsets every now and then, other than, Ohio State and Michigan, which
You
It's
love
just Ohio State just ran
You
rampant on
love
it.
Ohio State.
Get out of here,
No,
man.
PJ
PJ just hates Michigan so much that
Yes.
he'll support
res-
Ohio State.
I respect Ohio State at least because like they hold a standard and they actually win sometimes. Right? Michigan just holds a standard and they're like, "Hey man, as long as we're 10-2, it's going to be all right."
The longest win streaks in the history of the Georgia-Florida game is 7. Georgia did it from 1941 to 1948. Florida did it from 1990 to 1996. And that was just
They've never had.
no, but that was just almost 12, 13 years of dominance because Georgia only got one win from 1990 to 2003.
Ooh,
And even then, it's real hard to beat a
But
team.
this is
10
a
times in
really
a row.
good. Like
Correct.
this is Georgia's time. From when it comes to recruiting,
yeah.
now you know they were recruiting well so long, and now they won one. They got it
They
right,
sure
and everything
did.
like that. And I feel like it's going to continue being like that because I got kids down where I'm at, 4 stars, all that stuff. They are like,
Oh
Yeah,
no, there's a
they are
reason.
like-
There's
they
a
are
reason
wanting to
why
go to
every
Georgia, man,
Right.
deep
There's-
into Florida.
there's
Yeah.
a reason why every major Florida program has had a coaching change over the last 2-3 years, and it's because Georgia and a couple other schools, Ohio State, Alabama, are coming down and absolutely whooping them
Mhm.
when in terms of in-state recruiting. So that's why you have a new head coach of Florida, why you have a relatively new head coach at Florida State, why you have a brand new head coach at Miami. It's
UCF.
because those dudes were getting smacked.
Yeah.
Well, UCF has a new head coach because theirs left for a better job.
He is actually recruiting.
Gus
pretty well.
Malzahn? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
no,
he's actually-
nobody ever said Gus Malzahn couldn't recruit.
So, but yeah, losing the recruiting battle. So I feel like they're going to be good for a while. I'm not saying they're going to win a championship every year or even for a while, but they're going to be. I feel like they're going to be in the playoffs every year for a long time,
All right,
very long time.
one of the
And a lot of
big-
people down there. I'm deep in Florida fans, and we've had this before. How much Florida fans care about the Georgia rivalry versus the FSU. It used to be we had a poll up a while ago saying through all my friends saying FSU more. Now no one even cares about FSU. Now they're all caring about Georgia now because Georgia's winning championships.
You're
And that's
always
the reason why I made FSU so good because they were winning championships.
you always care about the team that's
The best.
that's just in front of you,
Yeah.
right? Like if Georgia, it used to be Tennessee for a while, where it was like that was just like a huge scary game, right? And now it's just it's Tennessee's on the schedule, and that's why I always PJ hears me. I try to give Georgia fans some perspective because it's easy to forget after 4 or 5 years. There were a bunch of years where Georgia had really good football teams that would get absolutely smacked by Tennessee.
Mhm.
So it's just it's all about how good the other team is.
Or lose against Ben Troop and company.
Yeah, listen, we ain't got to talk
at
about
times
that.
like that, have great teams, but stuff like that happens.
Why gotta bring that up?
I'm just saying.
We've talked about that ad nauseum. We do literally a whole week about it every single year. Do we need to bring it up right now?
I don't know. I'm not around anymore. I
Like
don't know.
Ben has
since
Ben
I've been gone,
literally
the freaking desktop over here looked like a freaking bomb exploded on
Okay.
it. I'm looking right at you, PJ.
Whoa, I don't
PJ,
do.
I'm looking at.
I don't. I don't
PJ,
do anything
PJ,
on
hold on,
that.
hold on,
Hold on. I don't do
It's-
anything on that.
it's
computer.
okay.
Wait a minute.
It's okay. He's old. Nobody actually uses the desktop on their computer anymore. Like I can't remember the last time on my Mac I actually saw the desktop of my Mac. It's you use the file explorer.
What? No.
The desktop's just another folder.
I'll put it on the poll.
Desktop's just a giant folder.
It is. I either save things to downloads or to desktop.
Sounds horrible. I don't live that life. Dude.
And you know what? If you need to find something, there's a little search button. Looks like a magnifying glass at the top. You just click that bad boy.
All right.
and
What
you
if you
can find
accidentally
it.
name
Well,
it something wrong and you
thank you.
can't find it, but you know where it is? Oh,
Right.
wait, you don't know where it is
Yeah.
because you just threw it in the freaking universe over here.
Thank you for that, Cody, by the way. But we didn't even have to team up before we got on the show. Now we know who's been ruining all our computers the past 5 years.
That's true.
That
when
guy-
we first got here, no, that was BJ.
Oh, no,
BJ
no, I was saying, no,
ruined
hold on.
Studio
I said that wrong. Not ruining our computers, ruining the organization of our computers. You just said you only save things to
On
downloads
my
in the
computer.
desktop.
Oh, on your computer.
But
Well-
also, who's the person in here who
No, I
has
know.
either
Yeah.
fixed or replaced
Oh, I get that.
every computer in this office?
Yeah, you've done.
and
an
you're going to
incre-
point at me?
You've done an incredible job in that sense.
When everything, when
But
everything,
the organization
no.
of said
No.
computers.
Bleep
Think
off.
about what you just
No.
said.
Bleep
Think
off.
about what you said.
Bleep off. When everything in here falls apart and I just hear, Christian, because it's right before the show and there's a little blue spinny thing. How many times have I come in here with like 0 hour, 2 minutes until show starts, computer crashing. And you know what? When the show starts, no one's the wiser. You know why? Because the computer's up.
No, it's true.
You know why mostly also is because like it's usually with the 3 and Out crew and you're old. You're old.
You're pretty old too.
You probably clicked on the wrong email and opened it up thinking you can get some money from a Nigerian prince. And boom. Ruined our computer there, freaking Kevin.
I would say Mark does it too, but yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
I mean,
but how dare you?
Everybody does it. Everybody. I delivered it wrong.
How many
all right?
how many IT solutions
you
have
don't
you
have
provided?
to flex. You don't have to flex here.
Me?
Plenty.
I don't remember any.
But that's
Some.
fine because you probably weren't here.
I have.
All right, I do a-
He's pulling the OG
Here,
card
I-
on you, dude.
I mean, no.
You young
No,
guy.
it has nothing to do with that. It has like there's been several times and Kevin knows this. Kevin's done it before several times where it's like 11:30 at night and something's going wrong and I lived a mile and a half away, had to come up here and fix something. I didn't tell anybody about it. I
I'm
just
not
had to
talking
do it.
about in the automation system.
Everything.
That's not a technical fix.
Sometimes it's internet, sometimes it's
I can't
automation,
talk to him like
sometimes
that
it's
because he
radio.
talks to us about
That's not what we're talking
cutting
about.
cutting
That's not what we're
film.
talking about. Cody,
taping them together.
Cody has
Is automation
no,
not IT?
No, Cody
of
has
some kind?
No, that's like having a problem with an audition. Like that's software stuff. Like that's just understanding your job. Like you can't do your job without doing that. Like Cody's gone out and helped Ben open the hood of his car because he didn't know how to do that.
And that was embarrassing.
Right? That doesn't mean he's providing an IT solution.
He was like, "Can you change
That's
my
nowhere
headlight?"
near- that's
Yeah.
nowhere
I
in
was
the
like,
same
"Pop your hood."
realm.
He was
Just-
like,
That's
"I
nowhere
don't
in the
know
same
how to
realm as a
pop my head."
computer.
I'm like, okay, all right, insane.
Just don't y'all come at
It's
me.
not a computer, it's
don't
just a
y'all
machine.
don't y'all. I had
I
the,
was strictly only coming at you about the organization
I had
of-
the accusations lobbed at me.
of
He said
said
you-
computers
it was ruining.
because-
Ruining is what y'all said.
because literally you
I
just
accused
said
him. He accused you.
he just said I only save things to desktop and download.
on my Mac, because I know you guys get real confused and scared when things aren't put in particular folders, even though you guys have like multiple duplicated folders everywhere all over the place and nothing's in the right spot.
ain't me.
But it's fine. It's fine.
That ain't me.
It's
I make
fine.
one folder and I save it to that folder
Cool.
every time. So
That's
no,
why high school roundup stuff was all over.
Keep
didn't put 'em
lobbing.
there.
You see, Cody comes back in here.
Mm.
No, Cody's in here for 15 minutes. Cody's in here for 15 minutes and everybody's already mad at each other.
Mhm.
Georgia had their pro day today. A couple guys really showed out. A couple of guys looked pretty bad. Like, best way to put it, bad. Not, oh, they looked okay. No, they looked bad.
Who?
We'll tell you.
that's just a good segue.
Your
man.
microphone's about to fall
I was
out.
about
So
to fall
that
out.
is-
What are you guys doing here without me? Man, this is ridiculous.
Why don't you turn it off and you go to, can I try to redo that teaser again? So in the radio industry, we call it a,
We'll cut it out during the podcast.
no, in the radio, no, you leave that in. In the radio industry, we call this a tease. I was setting the people up for the next segment, Cody.
I don't work on the radio. I don't know.
Tease, that's real good word usage there.
Are you spoiling Wordle again? Son of a gun. We got to go to break. We'll come back. This show's falling apart. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by The Uniform Source. Christian Gokel alongside PJ Zuko, and I guess, alongside might not be the right term. Cody Queen's here.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Cody Queen's here.
You're literally alongside him right
No,
now.
I'm not.
Like, you're not even
No,
really
I'm in the
alongside
same,
me.
I'm in the same room as him.
I love how like on my way here, I was texting. I was like, "Yo, I'm up. I'm like, I'm coming up." And he was like, because we talked weeks ago that I was going to come up and stay at his place." He goes, "I assume you're staying at my place." You seem correct. Yes, I will be staying in your house. Sorry. Much obliged.
Yeah. So anyway, Cody's here. I guess we got sports to talk about. Georgia had the pro day today. Most of the big time guys not doing too many of the combine drills again, mostly just going through position drills, seeing that Devonta Wyatt, Jordan Davis, Travon Walker, George Pickens, those guys all had massive NFL combines and put up crazy numbers. And you don't want to run a 4.47 and then run a 4.51 at pro day, because they're going to use, to Roman Harper's point, the 4.51. They're always going to use the slower time, and that maybe drags you down a little bit. So all those agents, those guys saying, don't worry about doing the combine stuff again. A few guys benched again and did a little bit better, but in terms of running, didn't do that, just a lot of position drills. And so I'd say the guy who probably won the day was Travon Walker. If you watched his workout, he goes out there and he's working out with Devonta Wyatt, Jordan Davis, Julian Rochester. Those guys are all working out together. And then the linebackers come out. And the linebackers run some DB drills, basically, where the guy will snap the ball and they point the ball in different directions. So you're backpedal. And then once they tell you to hit, you stick your foot in the ground, come back forward, and they throw it at you. You catch the football, right? You have Nakobe Dean out there. You have Quay Walker out there doing this drill. Lewis Cine and Darian Kendrick had just gotten done doing it. And then Travon Walker, like 270 pounds of him, does it and looks better than anybody. The dude's a mutant. And there's a reason he's about to be at least a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
And some mock drafts have him going as a top 5 pick. So I'd have him as the winner of the day. The loser of the day to me, and I said this before Cody ruined the tease in the last segment, Nakobe Dean, and like by a long shot. Why are you nodding?
Why
are you nodding?
I am reading right now,
because I know you didn't watch a second of him.
Nakobe, I think they said he's still running a 4.7, but the people are saying that he is a loser in this one. 4.7 is pretty good.
Well, I don't understand that's not why.
Because they hold him to this.
No,
like
that's not why.
It is?
It's because you had Quay Walker out there doing these same drills. You had Travon Walker out there doing these same drills, and Nakobe Dean just did not look smooth. He looked kind of clunky. Right. Every pass they threw at him, he dropped. And it was a rough performance, to say the least, for Nakobe Dean. I texted a couple people that covered Georgia just to be like, I'm not crazy, right? Like, he doesn't look right. And they were like, no, this is bad. Like, this is a bad day for Nakobe Dean. I can't imagine he falls out of the first round just because he's the number 1 inside linebacker in the draft, and his game tape speaks for itself. But like,
yeah,
dude's got to be hurt or something, right? Like, I saw him like reach back a couple times, but I couldn't tell if that was just like the end of the drill or something like that. And you're just a little bit, but
right,
maybe a hamstring, maybe something, because Nakobe Dean did not look good today.
And and you hope that gets cleared up if he is dealing with something and the truth comes out about that. And the teams that are looking at him understand that as well. This is the part of this whole situation that I really don't like. And it's taking one day. Like, yeah, it's a pro day. You want to go out and you want to do your best. You want to show everything you can do. And hopefully not one day of being a little off doesn't, ruin his draft stock or anything like that. And I think the good teams will see that. You just don't want this to mount up or to turn it into anything bigger if you're Nakobe Dean, right? You got to move on, move past this one bad day. It doesn't matter what kind of camera, like, get over it, move on. And maybe if he does slide a little bit, this gives him even more of an edge and even more of, something to prove when he gets into the league. But yeah, it's tough to see. Like you said, it is bad. Like, you don't want to go out there and lay an egg by any means. And it kind of sounds like he did, but yeah, hopefully it doesn't impact his draft stock too much, because at the end of the day, like you said, you have several years of production with him. Yeah. And this year of him just being an absolute monster and leader of this defense, and just everywhere there was an opening, Nakobe Dean was filling it and getting the tackle
Well-
or making big plays. So
Kirby Smart's kind of updated us here. I don't know where you got the 4.7 number because this he didn't run today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Nakobe Dean did not run.
I don't want to mention the
yeah.
website then.
He participated in position drills, but Kirby Smart saying he didn't run or do some of the other workouts today because he's dealing with a pec strain, which can be incredibly painful. And so hopefully that's what it was. But like I said, he just kind of looked clunky today.
yeah, and
My
maybe
bad. Darian Kendricks was right below him.
There. Okay.
oh, I got you.
I misspoke.
And maybe some of the more mobile parts of the drills that doesn't affect you as much, but especially like the catching. You imagine getting your arms up and getting your hands up as quick as you do when you go to catch something like that. And I know it's not your hands, but like that can certainly affect you coming down with the football. Like you'd like to see him catch more, but with that type of strain, that's rough. And that's one of those you don't really know how much it affects you until you have it, right? It's like hurting something in your midsection or whatever. You're like, oh, I should be okay. And then everything you go to do is affected by it.
I
So,
still think he'll be a first rounder. I had I think
Oh, for those of you who don't know, Cody Queen is the king of
I
mock
still did
drafts.
draft.
And I don't say that like in a positive way, like he's very accurate with them. I mean, like Cody is a volume shooter.
I had him going number 9 to the Broncos before all this Russell Wilson thing started. But I still think he could fall down out of the top 10 and everything, and he would still go to Minnesota. So I still think he would be able to go to Minnesota and all that stuff. Minnesota needs defense right now. So I still think he's going to be a first round. I don't think this means anything.
So I can give
I
you
don't think it means nothing. This pro day means nothing.
I can give you another update. Chris Rim, who is the Falcons reporter for the AtlantaFalcons.com, he's going to be joining us coming up at 5:20. He just sent in a text basically saying that Nakobe Dean hasn't run since last Tuesday.
Really? Okay.
And just dealing with some injuries and recovering from those that also hurt his pec. But this is from Chris's Twitter. Nakobe Dean said he met with the Steelers, Giants, and Patriots. PJ over there,
I'm
little curve of the lip.
I'm
Well, okay,
happy as I can be.
here's
We
my-
needed
Giants have
inside
2 first-round
linebacker help
picks.
for a
Well, here's
long
my
time.
question about this, though. When it comes to the combine, this is why I'm always kind of skeptical about like, oh, that guy's a combine monster. It's like from 0 to 100%, how much do you grade tape versus combine pro day? Because to me, it's like 99% tape.
Yep.
If a
Mhm.
dude like Nakobe Dean is playing in the SEC for his entire career, he's a starting inside linebacker for Georgia, and this defense that a lot of people consider the best of the last 2 decades.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like it,
Right.
And it's game after game after game where he just dominated. And there's a lot of plays that stick out in your mind, right? Where he like tracks down the Michigan running back, kind of the orbit motion from sideline to sideline. I think the one that's even better than that was from the national championship. It's like the first drive, and he just fills the hole, and it's like the whole country was like, "Oh, this is about to be a bloodbath." Like this is Georgia, Alabama. This is dudes hitting the hole like that. I thought that was even better than that. So it's like I watched 3 years into Nakobe Dean tape versus 2 bad underwear showings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll take the tape.
I almost wish the combine was like for the reverse, right? Because it seems like the combine is like the top echelon of guys who might get drafted. And I get it for the meetings, for like the in-person meetings, interviews, things like that. You want to figure out who they are. But for the on-the-field stuff, I'd rather the NFL take the guys who are off the radar a little bit, who are on the bottom of that list a little bit, and see what they can do on the field instead. Because like you said, these dudes, we have years of tape on them for most of them who have consistently been doing incredibly good. Of course, you have some that kind of shoot up and have one great year and they get drafted off of it, which is fine. But people stress like this is my most frustrating time of year for the NFL. Like I like all the off the field stuff with the signings and the trades, all that's exciting, free agency. But the on the field stuff, this is my most frustrating time of year because people get so consumed with what they saw last, with what they see in these drills and not what they see on the field. So I'm right there with you. I'm 95 to 5% film and production on the field in competition, way over what you do in workout days.
One more small update here, and these are just being reported. Nothing's been confirmed, but apparently he's dealing with a lower leg injury as well.
Yeah.
So
makes complete sense.
But like, if that's the case, and we'll move off this here in a second because we got some Braves news to get to in the next segment. If that's the case, what the hell is his agent doing?
Yeah.
Like, why is he working out?
Yep, he should
like
just be resting. Yep.
Dude's an inside linebacker, right? Like he's not going to say no.
Mhm.
Like if Mike Tomlin's there and Dean Pease is there and Bill Belichick's there and they're like, we want you to work out, he's not going to say no.
Yep.
Right? Dude's played linebacker his whole life. He's bet I'm used to dealing with pain. My life is pain.
Yep.
Right? Like fine, I'll go out there and show it. The hell is his agent doing?
And he's already been
Not doing
proven that
anything
he
else.
is a great leader on the field.
Yeah.
So just like you're saying, the Giants. I think Giants have 2 first-round picks.
And they
Having him on
love
their defense, having a
love
leader.
drafting Georgia players.
So hey, man, no brainer. Stop working out. Stop working out. You're going to be a first round.
Well, it's too late now.
Jacoby Dean's going to be a first round pick.
Too late now.
I know. Yeah, it's too late now. But you were going to be a first round pick at all.
Yeah.
Like Ben Troop didn't do the combine and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and he was the first pick by the Titans, and he went in the second round,
40th overall.
beginning of the second round. You know what I mean? He didn't even go at all to the combine. If you know you're that player and you're an All American and all that stuff, dude, don't do that.
I did another note just from the pro day because SEC Network had the coverage, and so you had Dari Noka and Roman Harper kind of back in the studio talking to each other, and then Matt Stinchcomb was there as the kind of in-person reporter. But Roman Harper, former Alabama guy, taking every opportunity he could, and it was very you had to be paying attention to what he was saying because he was super complimentary about a lot of stuff. But then he would take every shot he could at Georgia's program. Again, it's an Alabama guy, right? He's going to do
gonna
whatever he
happen,
can to help out, the Tide. His team just lost to Georgia in the national championship. Every chance he got, especially when George Pickens was out there, he was, hey, listen, George Pickens, great athlete. I don't know that Georgia's offense really did enough to showcase all of his abilities. And then like 10 minutes later, Georgia doesn't really run NFL routes. They don't really run pro style routes. So you never really got to you see the route that they're talking to George Pickens about right there. Never really saw that at Georgia. And you put that on top of Jermaine Burton leaving Georgia to go to Alabama.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. But I mean, it's the Homer network, right? Like everybody who works for the SEC network is either just a personality or they played a sport somewhere inside the SEC. So if they get a chance, they're going to get their digs in there when they can. I thought that was pretty funny, though, from Roman Harper. Any chance he could, just taking a shot at Todd Monken in that offense and the ability to feature wide receivers. Because I don't think there's a better team in the country to feature wide receiver than Alabama.
Right now,
And,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
And so just taking shots anywhere he could at Georgia, I thought that was pretty funny. Let's take a quick break. We got some Braves news to dive into. Unless Cody wants to ruin this tease, too. We'll come back. This is Second Down on ESPN Radio. PJ, you know, there's a lot of things I miss about Cody. One of the things I don't miss, though,
Oh no.
I'm not saying anything about the one he just played, but it just reminded me the rejoiner music choices. I've never had to rein somebody in more than him because, like, if it was up to Cody, one of our rejoiners today would be Young Gravy, and then the next one would be Something in the Way by Nirvana.
Gravy train, dude.
Like, there's supposed to be some kind of like a little bit of hype to it, but also, you know,
Wait.
FCC
Gravy train is hype.
but
Hold
also,
on.
you know, FCC regulations.
Yeah, that
That's
can be
true,
a
yeah.
problem. But also, is Young Gravy like Kevin's nephew or something? Got Biscuits and Gravy in there.
If I
Young
could,
Gravy is.
if I could play the loser game show sound right now, I absolutely would.
Young Gravy.
Is that who
dude.
he is? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. For those of you who don't know, Kevin Thomas is Biscuits and Gravy
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Right.
I asked him about that, and he was like, "Oh, somebody just dared me to do it one day."
Well, I mean,
I'm like, that's actually pretty
that's kind
terrible.
of underplaying the joke that was for so long. Like Kevin was nicknamed Biscuits and Gravy for like 6 years, and then it just kind of fell off for a little bit. So like him just being like, "Oh, they just kind of did," like that's kind of underplaying.
but it's
it.
also like
That's a classic Kevin move, though. By the way, just underplaying stuff.
but it's also like a pretty terrible like social media decision, right?
All in all, yeah, of course.
Because like if somebody's trying to at tweet you, now you have to go underscore Biscuits Gravy instead of, you know, like just at Kevin Thomas.
If there's a few things, right? I wasn't very involved in social in like the Twitterverse and some social media things when they made their names. But if there's one thing I'd go back and help them on, it would probably be that because
Yeah.
there's some
Well,
pretty
BJ's BJ Bennett Sports, so that makes sense.
even that's kind of
That's his personality. Bland.
just right. They're just
That's fair.
BJ Bennett,
I love
and then
BJ,
it's just sports. It's like someone you're saying, yeah, go sports or like go team. Like if they don't know who's playing,
That's what I'm gonna do. My next son's like a football team. Go team.
just kind of sounds.
Okay, well here's my quick,
generic.
PJ, as you're taking shots at people, why do you have an unnecessary underscore?
Because I had to.
And no, you don't.
Yeah, I did.
I just look for at PJ Zuko. It doesn't exist.
It wasn't available when I made.
Probably existed before, and he
Exactly.
forgot the password.
It was deleted. No,
And then had to do that.
that's not what happened. I've only ever had one. I've had the same profile picture for the whole time. Like I don't really like Twitter that much. I'll throw it out there. by the
Wow,
way.
I like Twitter.
I never really have.
I
But
enjoy
I
Twitter.
live on Twitter.
I like Twitter.
yeah, a bunch of youngins.
I'm not a big Instagram guy.
That's who
and all
you
that
two
stuff.
are. Just a bunch of. I'm just a boomer, and you guys are just too young. You know.
You're so old. You've been here so long. I remember when I first got here.
Just stop. No, let's not do
PJ
this.
is
Let's
here, man.
not do this. Why do we get
Please
off on
no.
and he was,
conversation?
he
No,
was like
stop,
he was like
stop.
writing stuff for like
Cody.
tablets and everything. I was like, PJ, what the heck?
Writing stuff on tap.
Dang. Crazy.
Oh man, no, but PJ Zuko was taken when I made mine, so I had to put the underscore in there.
Did you make yours? Did you have
No,
one before
stop.
you came?
Stop. We got to talk about Braves.
Are you getting us
This
back on
guy
track now?
brings up the
What are
Twitter,
you doing?
And then we ask him about his Twitter and how it was made. He says, "None of your business."
You're literally doing what you yelled.
I did not
At-
start.
at us.
I did not start this. And getting it back on track. No, there's a difference.
what you just
no,
did.
There's a difference between
There's
going.
a track on this
no,
show.
Correct. No, Cam hit us with that last week. He's like, I'm just trying to get the show back on track. And we both looked at him like he was crazy. No, there's a difference between getting off track with the entertaining conversation. You know what's not entertaining? This conversation that we're having.
You started asking me about my Twitter handle first. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but we didn't need to go into Cody regaling us with the great stories of PJ Zuko working for ESPN Coastal in 2015.
Why not?
Stone tablets.
We
yeah.
don't
Why
need
not?
that.
We all like that. We all like to hear good
Okay, we'll
things
keep talking
about
about it
PJ.
then.
No,
Keep
I'm just
going.
kidding.
No,
Let's
I
go.
want to know.
Go.
I want to know if you made your Twitter before you were.
Yes,
here.
I had Twitter before here.
Okay.
You guys good now?
Did you?
I've
what's your
been
handle?
fine. I just want to hear more great
What's
things
your
about
handle
me.
first before we go on? What's your handle?
Go Kelly ESPN. Are we good? Can I carry on?
I've been fine.
Have you?
I'm good. I'm solid.
All right, let's talk about the Braves.
You're the one who's like,
I'm gonna.
Cody's good things about PJ, and you're like, no, he doesn't need to hear that.
I saw that.
No,
I said
you
that,
guys-
and like,
no,
his
you
ears
guys-
started getting red. He was
Yeah,
like,
no.
Oh, no, if we could actually go back and replay, which is the interesting thing about the shows, it's all recorded. For whatever reason, everybody at the station likes to be like, "I didn't say that," and they're like, "We literally record the show in multiple different
But
ways."
then we literally never go back to look.
But
if
we
said
can
that.
is because
No,
people
we
usually,
can't.
no, it's because people cop to it. They're like, okay, I did say that because I forgot that you guys record all of this. No, what you guys were doing was taking shots at Kevin and BJ about their ad handles. And I asked BJ, okay, if we're taking shots, why do you have an unnecessary underscore? And we got that
Yeah,
answered.
right.
And now PJ should change his
came at
to,
me.
you should just change it to PJ Zuko. You should do that right now. And
I'm not going to do
what
that.
I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the Braves. Okay, that's a bad social media decision from you. But let's talk about the Braves. Braves making more deals. Obviously, the big news is signing Matt Olson, arguably the third best first baseman. A lot of first and thirds and all of that in there. Third best first baseman.
Understandable. We
in
can always
baseball.
go back and listen to that if we need to.
We certainly should because I was killing it right there. That was some just verbal cabbage. Shredding it.
Was it cabbage or was it just more like
No, it's
coleslaw,
cabbage
just
because
kind
I
of
shredded that.
thrown together?
No, it's cabbage because I shredded it. No. Braves go out and sign right-handed pitcher Colin McHugh. They get him for a $10 million 2-year deal, $10 million guaranteed, and a $6 million club option in 2021. 34-year-old. He pitched in 37 games last year with Tampa Bay. Had a 6-1 record with a 1.55 ERA. If I have to imagine, while you kind of wait for some guys to get healed up because Mike Soroka's on a 60-day DL, you don't know how well Charlie Morton is going to be able to throw. He's doing some pitching right now, but just soft tossing off of a mound is a little bit different than the strain of 5-6 innings in a major league game. So you don't know how well that leg's holding up. So if I have to imagine, Colin McHugh probably going to be a guy that we see starting early in the season. And then maybe as you get healthy, train to a bullpen role. I mean, the dude had 7 starts, but also recorded a save. So very much a guy who can do a lot of different things. So they signed Colin McHugh, but the news that we need to get to, he's back. The NLCS MVP, Eddie Rosario, signs a 2-year, $18 million deal, very club-friendly deal, I'd say, for getting Eddie Rosario back with the Atlanta Braves. Just to kind of recap what he was able to do last year in 33 regular season games, had a 271 batting average, 13 extra base hits. And then in the postseason is really where he went crazy. If you kind of combine his regular season with the postseason, had 14 home runs in that stretch. So dude was on fuego last year. So really excited to have Eddie Rosario back. And so now what we can kind of do is take a look at what this potential lineup could look like. This is what I was trying to get to.
No, I mean it's special. It's huge. Hopefully, like we've been talking about, hopefully he can extrapolate that and take that momentum in the postseason and build it throughout the rest of the
that's
year.
a question.
And I mean, I think also it's just big get for the Braves, though. I mean, I think if there's one guy going into the postseason that you said we need him back on the roster and make sure he doesn't go anywhere, it's Eddie Rosario, right?
Eddie Rosario or Jorge Soler. I understand the Freddie Freeman joke you're trying to make. I'm not going to let you make it, though. I'm not going to let you do it. We've moved on. We've blocked him on Instagram. I already told you about this. And we're not going back.
That he's deep into this. Like you're into the he doesn't even exist because there was no reaction there.
I think
I expected at least a little
listen,
one.
You want to know where I'm at with Freddie Freeman
Oh,
today?
my
You know what I
goodness.
want to think? You want to know where we're at? I'm at with Freddie Freeman today, PJ.
Where at?
I think Freddie Freeman's at home right now, scrolling through old IG pics, looking at himself in a Braves uniform, saying, "I miss us."
You keep
You know
thinking
why?
that.
You know why? Because I think it's getting to the point now where maybe he got a little out over his skis a little bit. Maybe he thought he was maybe worth a little bit more than he was. He keeps talking about, it's just a hot market for Freddie Freeman right now.
Is it?
Is it?
Is it?
Because now I'm starting to hear teams like Tampa Bay.
I've not heard nothing. Yes, I heard Dodgers, and now it's Tampa Bay.
Now it's Tampa Bay. Now it's Toronto. Now
Mhm.
it's Boston. It's
Okay.
still the Yankees are still
Yeah.
involved. So I think
You're
Freddie
right.
Freeman
You're
maybe
right.
is
Okay. All right. No, though, let's
and we got our new man.
there you go. You'd love to get Soler back too, though. And yeah, let's
I doubt Soler comes back now because Acuna is not going to be back from reports. He said he'd go tomorrow if he could, but depending on how the Braves track him back, we'll say May is what most people are reporting for when you get Acuna back. But once you do, for the vast majority of your season, your lineup could look like this. Leading off, Acuna playing center field, Ozzie Albies second, playing second base, Matt Olson filling in that third spot, which Freddie Freeman played for a long time, but you put a left-handed power bat in for a left-handed power bat. So from the top, you go with Ozzie Albies in front of him, switch hitting, and then you go to that power left-handed bat, right? Ronald Acuna, big power righty. And so you can kind of switch and mix and match right there, but those will be your 1, 2, 3 more than likely. Austin Riley, after him playing third base, 5 in the order, if I had to assume, is Marcell Ozuna. DHing, number 5 in the order, big power bat, and probably your worst defensive option out of all your outfielders. So you let him DH.
Yeah.
After that, Adam Duvall, who had an unbelievable season last year in right field, Eddie Rosario in left field. And then you have Travis d'Arnaud catching, Dansby Swanson rounding it out at 9th as your shortstop. It's a pretty damn good lineup.
That looks good, yeah.
I don't see anywhere
looks
where
good.
I'm
But
like
nowhere in there is there room for Jorge Soler.
True.
I'm assuming, because like you're probably not sitting Eddie Rosario on the bench for $9 million a year.
Yeah, exactly. He's the guy you're putting out there and expecting.
And I
lot
think
from.
if I had to imagine, Soler probably has his price driving up, but at the same time, if I ask you what is more repeatable, Eddie Rosario's postseason production or Jorge Soler, like I get it. The home run he hit still hasn't landed. That thing's in the stratosphere somewhere.
Elon Musk was proud of that.
That's why he created
He was outta
SpaceX.
here.
That's
Right.
why he created
Trying to go
SpaceX
get
was
that
to
thing.
go find that baseball.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But and he's going to be a Braves hero forever. I just don't think you break him off for that postseason. Now, I mean, the dude hit 40 plus home runs just a couple years ago, so maybe he could be that guy. But I think you have Adam Duvall. You feel really good about his power. And I guess it would be you already have Marcell Ozuna locked up. Do you think about trying to move him and then bring in Soler in? I think they stick with what they have here. I mean, maybe they're still on Soler. I would imagine the money now goes to the starting pitching.
I'm very proud of the Braves of not, they did win a championship, and they're not like, well, we have to keep these guys because we won a championship. They are improving the team.
Oh, I think they proved that when they said
even
Freddie
though-
Freeman. Sorry, big
yeah,
dog.
exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I'm very proud of this team instead of just being like the fans being like, oh, this and that. Just keep him. He's like a Braves legend, blah blah blah, all this stuff. But whenever you can get someone that's going to do a job, really good job, maybe not as good, but maybe even better.
Oh,
We don't even know.
Hold on, we have
Possibly
some-
for longer too.
We have
Yeah,
some
yeah,
long
for
snapper
longer.
news to dive into.
Oh gosh.
Long snapper news.
Oh well, no, okay.
No, this is huge. The Chargers just came into our house and stole our longtime long snapper,
No.
Josh Harris. He's gone
Harris.
headed to LA.
Oh,
Oh
man.
no, yeah, that's a
on a
problem.
4-year, $5.6 million deal, $1.92 million guaranteed. So the Falcons are now in the long snapping market too.
That's a good long snapper.
The Chargers-
yeah, freaking contract.
The
Yeah.
Chargers are really racking up this free agency, aren't they?
I mean,
Man, just
if there was
to finish fourth.
if there was like 2 things we could count on, it was Young Wei and Josh Harris, and now half of that's gone. So great. Let's go to break. We'll come back, get you ready for 3 and out. Cody, I wish I could say today's been a pleasure.
Has it not been?
No, not even a little bit.
Oh man,
I'm like tired.
this has been great.
It's been the longest hour of my life.
I got a mall massage before I hopped on here and everything. It was awesome.
That's incredible.
I'm just living life, dude.
I haven't rubbed my face this much in a very long time, and it used to be a weekly occurrence.
Weekly,
Daily.
daily, yeah. Yeah, every
Yeah.
single day. This is the thing. I was thinking about this. Like you also used to have like it was Cam, Christian, and Cody, and I feel like Cam would like kind of sit back and try like kind of let Cody do his thing, and then he would try and get back on track with you, right? I kind of like I'm just
Yeah,
kinda
you
trying
lean
to
into the
prod.
madness.
I'm trying to prod a little bit and
You
lean,
lean
in a little
into the
bit.
madness,
Yeah.
which is like can be funny for you. I just don't know if it's a great experience for the audience.
You don't know if it's a good experience
it.
for you.
No, you think they love it.
They love it.
You think they love it.
They love it for today. If this
You're gonna tell them-
continued,
You're going to tell them what they love. 912-342-7184. If you want to tell us whether you loved it or not, please let us know. I am giving you the opportunity right now. 912-342-7184. Tell us we suck if we suck.
we got a tweet.
Let us
Also,
know.
I'm going to see Batman at 6 at Glen Place. Anybody wants to go? I mean, I'm just-
Oh my,
If anybody wants to meet him in the parking lot, and just give him the what for.
the Batman.
Mhm.
Give him the business.
The Batman.
Who's your favorite Batman, Cody?
Christian Bale.
That's a lame answer. Outside of Christian Bale, who's your favorite Batman?
George Clooney.
You. The correct answer is
yeah.
Michael Keaton.
No.
That's the correct answer.
Ben Affleck.
No.
Batfleck.
Uh,
I honestly forget he played Batman.
Same, because it's ridiculous that
We got 10 seconds.
Didn't
I know
even
you need
happen.
2 hours for that subject.
Yeah.
3 and Outs coming up next. Got a bunch of wonderful guests. As we mentioned, Chris Rim will be joining us in the final hour to talk Georgia's Pro Day. Catch all of it right here on ESPN Radio.
Where is it?